Gohar Shahi Marhaba. Actually, for the past many years, especially after Sarkar's disappearance in November 2001, although we have been trying our whatever little or more to publicize the fact that Sarkar Gohar Shahi is the awaited Imam Mehdi. And we have been doing this in our own way, but whatever way we have done it, it was like a cricket match in which you win the toss and you elect to bat. You play the first inning and you have no total to chase. You just play and, you want to give the other team a target. In a similar way, we have been trying to promote the divine signs and Sarkar Gohar Shahi's doctrine of love. But now, the game has changed. There is another claimant in the market, and so notorious. This contender, who claims to be Imam Mehdi, from Wahhabi cult, Abu Bakr al Baghdadi, Lanatullahi alayh. This guy has been promoting himself as Amirul Mu'mineen, and he has sent messages to different terrorist organizations to pledge allegiance to him and accept him as the promised Imam Mehdi. Now we have another shop in the market. Now is the time for us to do Prachar Mehdi, because now we can do it better. Why? We know how to maneuver ourselves and look at him, what is he doing, and what is it that he is doing against what is mentioned in the Quran and in the Hadith, and then bring it forward to show it to the public. Look, this is what Hadith says and this is what he is doing. So it's like we now have a target. And when you know the target, it becomes easy. You can plan it well, right? For example, the other team elected to bat and they made 250 runs in 50 overs. Most probably, your plan would be, you need to make 5 runs per over. Most probably, your plan will be to tell your openers to spend as much time on the crease as possible and don't worry about the average. It's only 5 runs per over. Just stay there and save the wickets. And the thing is, if you're on the crease, runs come by even if you don't make efforts. So many no balls, so many wide balls, byes. And then there is no bowler in the world who doesn't give you a loose delivery in 1 over. There is always a loose delivery in every over. You have to wait for that loose delivery and hit a boundary. So go with the flow, 3 runs, 4 runs per over, and keep going until 25 overs are done. And then see, you have plenty of wickets. Now is the time for the rest of the runs to be made. You're going to go berserk. Fireworks will start. In a similar way, now we know what is he doing and what credentials does he have in his kitty box to present to the world as signs, divine signs, or evidence, or divine endorsement. One big benefit that we are going to reap from all this is that it is apparent, the entire world knows that they are terrorists, they are enemies of humankind. Even Muslims hate them. And anybody who comes from God comes to unite hearts and to make an everlasting bond between uh, between human beings and to connect people with God. However, we see these lunatic bastards from Taliban, Al Qaeda, and ISIS, what they're doing is totally against any religion. Forget about Islam. What they're doing is totally opposite to any set of beliefs. Number two, forcing people to worship, forcing people to do things that cannot be Islam. Because according to the Quran, La akraha fid deen, there is no compulsion in the religion. You cannot force people to be good, because in the eyes of God, hearts are shown. The real intent of the heart is shown. And this notion of spreading Islam under the shadow of a sword or a gun, this is totally absurd. Sarkar Gohar Shahi has brought down the gist of all religions. I give you an example. There was a companion of Prophet Muhammad called Abu Bakr al Baghdadi. And this guy was really, really a close companion of the Prophet. And he would always stick around Prophet Muhammad. And he wasn't a very strict worshipper. He wasn't. He was not a strict worshipper. It was not like he was always busy in worshiping God. No. He would give more priority to keeping company of Prophet Muhammad rather than spending any of his time in worship. And some other companions of the Prophet started to complain to Prophet Muhammad that this guy is very close to you, but we have never seen him in Salat. And Prophet Muhammad summoned him and he came. And Prophet said to him, why don't you offer Salat? And he said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, I do offer Salat. But one of the companions said, Ya Rasulullah, when we finish Salat, we don't find him around us. And the Prophet said, really? You are not here when we finish the Salat? And he said, Ya Rasulullah, I heard it from you. The gist of Salat is in prostration, sajda. And even in Quran, God said, when you prostrate to me, it's like you are quietly speaking with God. You're quietly, discreetly talking to God when you are prostrating. So when I have found the gist of sajda, जब मुझे पता चल गया कि सजदा जो है वो सलात का मग़ज़ है, why should I waste my time in any other activity, in qiyam or qaood? When sajda is the main thing, I do sajda, I speak to God and go home. In a similar way, the main thing in every religion is God's love. The rest is a set of rituals. I mean, it's evident. I mean, God is not going to benefit by how long your beard is, right? And God is not going to benefit from what perfume you're wearing. It's nothing to do with God. Love is something that would touch God's heart. Love is a bond between your heart and God. When you are in love with God, you are in God's eyes. And practice of rituals and practice of a religion is carried out for one reason. And that one reason is that after having everything done, which is known as ritual or worship, you become able to possess, to obtain God's love in your heart. If the practice of your religion does not produce a result in form of filling your heart with God's love, then that practice of the religion becomes futile, useless. And we're living in an era where people are looking for a shortcut. People want to become millionaire overnight, and people want to become a saint of God overnight. They don't want to go to jungle and spend 24 or 36 years. Since the advancement of scientific technology, like we now have an iPhone and we have so many facilities like FaceTime, iMessage. You take a picture and send it straight away wherever in the world you are. It's become so easy. It's very rare that people use desktop these days. iPhone is doing everything. Since the advancement of scientific technology, man has become really clever. They have become really cunning and clever. Now they're seeking a concise and precise way of obtaining God. And number two, when you're ill and you have pain and the quality of life is affected because restrictions in your movement and what you want to do, you want to feel well. So when you have some kind of illness and the illness is stopping you from your pattern of life, and you have sort of temporarily developed limitation, developed some kind of dependency, you want to get rid of it. And you want to get well overnight. So I was saying, when you're ill, you want to get well soon. And then what happens? The first dose of medicine you take, as soon as you take the medicine, you are now expecting, I should get well now. God gracious, you just started taking medicine. It will take some time before the medicine reaches your system. But this is human psychology. And now these pharmaceutical companies have learned what a man thinks when takes medicine. Therefore, they have advertised, this will work in 5 minutes, this medicine will work in 10 minutes. You have to see this. You have to calculate human nature, human psychology. The moment they take medicine, now they're counting on their fingers. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Oh, I still have pain. This medicine, throw it away in the trash bin. I don't want it, it's not working. In a similar way, when you want to love God, when you want to obtain God, right? You go to mosque, you go to temple, you go to a church, you are offering salat, you're worshipping God, but you don't see any results. Those who are doing this because they must do it, and they have no set goals, they're just going to the mosque 5 times a day. They're just doing it. They don't have a purpose of going to a mosque, right? They will keep doing it. But those who really want to love God, really want to obtain God's nearness, the moment they start worshipping, they will ask questions. When will I get near to God? I've been to mosque 5 times today. I didn't feel Him near. You want the results. You want the results. And let me tell you a very important thing which will let you understand why spirituality is the best medicine for you. His Holiness Imam Mehdi Gohar Shahi said, you adopt any religion and you do good deeds, you worship, you give charity, you give alms, any virtue, but the reward of this will be given to you on the Day of Judgment. Reward of any worship will not be given to you while you are still alive. Reward is in the pipeline, is in pending. For example, you go to a mosque 5 times a day. You study Quran, you study Bible, you study Torah and Talmud and Bhagavad Gita and all Vedas. You go to a temple, you do charity work, you feed your neighbor, you feed your enemy. Do anything. But the reward will not be given to you in this world. The reward will be given to you on the Day of Judgment. However, in spirituality, His Holiness Gohar Shahi said, you adopt spirituality and you start working on it. It's like pay as you go. The more you purify yourself, the closer you will feel to God. The reward is given here. Now, this reward is different. The reward which will be given to you against your worship and loyalty to your religion will be in form of you entering into paradise. But the reward which is given to you when you are in spirituality will be given to you in form of God's love and nearness. And when you have God in your heart, nothing is more attractive, nothing is more appealing, unless you are a son of a bastard like Abu Bakr al Baghdadi. Unless you are Wahhabi. Because a Wahhabi mentality and Wahhabi doctrine, they want to screw virgin girls in paradise. This is their aim. Do you understand, my friend? It's filthy doctrine. It's lustful doctrine. I mean, if they're cutting throats of people, they're not doing it for God. They're not God's warriors. I mean, since when you think God is in need of you? If God wants to give death to people, He can do it without needing ISIS or Taliban or Al-Qaeda. God doesn't need you. And when God does it, nobody complains to God. They say it was a natural disaster. Look how clever God is. He kills, thousands of people. He kills thousands of people, and nobody says God did it. No, it was an earthquake, torrential rain, floods. So when God can do this, why would God need Al-Qaeda and ISIS? Do you think God needs ISIS to kill people? No. If God wants to kill anybody, He will do it. Nobody will ever notice who did it. मैं किसके हाथ पे अपना लहू तलाश करूं, तमाम शहर ने पहने हुए हैं दस्ताने. Now, you practice a religion and you're doing everything good, but you don't know what will be your end. Because when, on the Day of Judgment, it is decided whether you have achieved your goal, that of entering into paradise, your book of deeds would have been closed already. You will not be able to do anything good thereafter. All is done. Spirituality is something that changes your character, changes your heart. And here in this world, you receive the reward in form of becoming closer to God. Imam Mehdi, Sayyidina Gohar Shahi, has brought down spirituality. Now, it is God's plan. God does not want people to go around the bush. Or maybe God is so clever, God must have realized the advancement of scientific technology, people have become so lazy. They want everything there and then. If I continue to behave with humanity in the same way I behaved with them 5,000 years ago, maybe they would say, I don't want God. So God has changed himself because his market is running really low. God is not in demand anymore. Is he? God's graph is going down like oil these days. There was a time a few years ago, oil was $158 per barrel. And now it's $28 per barrel. A Christian wants to be a Christian. A Muslim wants to be a Muslim. A Hindu wants to be a Hindu. A Sikh wants to be a Sikh. A Jew wants to be a Jew. But that's not what they came here for. Whether it is Jew or Christian or Muslim or Hindu or Sikh, they all came here to obtain God's love, to recognize God. And God said, I created humanity. I created the entire universe for one reason, that they recognize me. This is God's purpose. And all these individuals, Sikhs and Hindus and Muslims and Christians and Jews, they don't seem to be bothered about God. They're only bothered about their religions. So God has decided, He's made some changes. He cut the crap out. He took the gist of every religion. And now He has decided for humanity to practice love. Gist of Hindu religion is love. Gist of Judaism is love. Gist of Islam is love. Therefore, love is suitable for everybody. Whether you're a Jew or a Christian, the principal requirement of every religion upon every single follower is that he or she must obtain God's love. And that's the culmination of every religion. And Imam Mehdi Gohar Shahi has brought down God's love. No salat, no service, nothing. Direct transmission from Imam Mehdi and his heart direct into your heart. You become a divine person and your heart starts to illumine with the candle of God's love. When you love God, you cannot hate God's creation. That is the problem with every single religion today. Every religion today has forgotten the purpose of that religion. The purpose of every religion was not to make you a Muslim and make you loyal to your religion. The purpose of Christianity was not to make you loyal to Christianity. The purpose of every religion was that you learn to love God and become godly. You're not becoming godly. You're becoming a rigid Muslim. You're becoming a rigid Christian. You're becoming a rigid Jew. That's not what God's purpose was. God wanted everybody to love Him. Therefore, this is God's plan. And in this plan, when humanity started, there was only one religion. Prophet Adam initiated humanity and he brought down love. There was no other religion when humanity started. Was there? one religion and one nation. And now the awaited one has come. In between these two caliphs, Prophet Adam and Imam Mehdi, in between them, many prophets were sent and messengers were sent and many religions were established. But God is now weary and tired of all these religions and all these differences. God wants to return to the base, back to square one. There was only one religion, religion of love, one nation. And God wants the world to end on God's love and humanity being one nation.
Al TV. Guidance brought to you